So if you're not up to date with the news as far as the Dokkan Battle Reddit, over there we have information as far as how the Goku Black, global iteration of Goku Black, will be in comparison to the Japanese one. So Goku Black is coming out soon, if not already at the time of this video. I don't know exactly when. I don't know when I'm uploading this, but this is going to be a different type of video, just a podcast type, not really going to throw up any gameplay or anything, just going to be a picture. So anyways, I hope you enjoy regardless, and subscribe if you're new, of course. We're going to talk about it here. I'm going to give you guys my general thoughts as to why I think that the changes were made to Goku Black. Now, let me say here that until he comes out, I don't know in particular if they'll make any last-second changes or edits to him and make him the way he's supposed to be in relation to the Japanese version, or if they're going to keep this going forward. I don't know what's going to happen, but just basing the video off of the fact that, you know, the character did get a statistical increase. His stats are higher than the Japanese versions, and the fact that he does have 3 key to all extreme types, I believe, or all allies, whatever, I think it's extreme types on his passive now, and the 3000. So it's weird because also DBZ.space doesn't show the debuff, which may be there too, but I didn't see the debuff. So I don't know if that's still happening or not, where he's lowering the enemy's attack and defense. I don't know what the changes were made. So let me give you my thoughts as to why they're doing this. So when it came to the Japanese version, if you can think back like 3 months ago, 3.5 months ago or so, however long ago it was on the Japanese version of the game, when Goku Black came out, the Japanese version of the game was highly entrenched in a lot of Dragon Ball Super stuff. It was really fueled by Dragon Ball Super hype back then. That was right at the peak of Goku Black and Rose and all these different things coming up in the anime of Dragon Ball Super. So that's basically why they dropped that. They dropped a Goku Black banner right in the peak of that, and they kind of did the same thing too with Vegeta Blue and Merge Zamasu. Or no, actually Vegeta Blue comes out with Rose, which is kind of around the time that Merge Zamasu's going on in the anime. So basically, a lot of what happens from the Dragon Ball Super characters and stuff like that in Dokkan Battle came out, and it was really hype oriented as far as the anime goes. So that's why they did that. So they were banking on the fact that the anime is so popular in Japan, and obviously the main player base for the game, at least as far as Bandai knows, maybe they know otherwise, but the game is geared towards the Japanese player base because the Japanese version, obviously, they wanted to capitalize on that. So when you look at the banner, unless Global's going to change it, I don't know. Global's made changes. Global's done a lot of questionable things. Assuming that Global doesn't change the banner, Goku Black is the only new card on the banner. Now, thinking back to it, when he came out on Japanese version of the game, I was looking at it like, well, honestly, this is probably the laziest banner that I've seen in a really long time, because you see that he's the only new character on the banner. Okay, he's basically a retread version of Buhan, just a little bit weaker. I mean, he gets 3000 attack in relation to Buhan's like 12% per orb. They're both nuker type characters. You know, they're both god leads, demigod leads, whatever you want to call them. They're both of the same ilk, right? But Buhan is obviously the better card. Goku Black has a farmable super. Buhan has a farmable super. They both change super attacks at super attack 10. Goku Black's stays permanently changed to that ball as opposed to the Kamehameha when he's at super attack 10. Buhan has a 30% chance to do the kamikaze attack, the Kamehameha kamikaze, excuse me. So there are a lot of similarities between those two guys. Obviously, he doesn't have the heal that Buhan has, which puts Buhan way above him as far as, you know, how good a card is. That being said, he was like a Buhan retread, and then you look at it, and at that time, right, I don't think Global's doing this, but at that time when he came out, the Dragon Ball Heroes banner had just came, maybe like within the last month prior to that, and Barlot/Baroto, the fusion of Goku and Bardock, he was in the game, you know, the STR version of that card. Once again, I don't know when he's coming out on Global. I don't know when Global's doing that Dragon Ball Heroes banner with Broadpan and Pandel and all those guys. But he's in the game, and he has that exact same super attack that Goku Black uses. Goku Black's ball is a different color, but he does that exact same one where he charges it in the palm of his hand and he just throws that big old ball that Goku Black does. So they literally took that exact same super attack animation from Boruto and put it on Goku Black. So they copy-pasted that, and Goku Black's other super attack is the Kamehameha, which is 100% identical to Super Saiyan Blue's Kamehameha. It's just a black one. So all those things factor into a lot of thought not being put into Goku Black. He just seemed really lazy. The banner didn't have anything in particular special on it. So moving on to the point, when it comes to the global version of the game, okay, they don't have all that Dragon Ball Super hype going on right now as far as that character goes. Obviously, Dragon Ball Super is dubbed now at this point, but it's way back in the Battle of Gods stuff, so they can't really bank on that. So I think that what they're doing is that they're looking at it from this perspective, and I think that the Bandai team, because if you didn't know, Bandai Japan, okay, they handle both versions of this game. There's not a global team that handles global. Japanese Bandai handles their Japanese version and their global version. They do all the content themselves. They translate it all to the global version. There may be some global or English-based people that work there, but for the main part, we have confirmation that the Japanese team handles the global version of the game. So they know in and of themselves exactly what's coming, which is why it doesn't make sense when people pop up with these, oh, I Facebook chatted Bandai and they said this is that. They don't know because they're not the same team. So that being said, as far as that goes, they know what's coming. So I think they're starting to look at it like, okay, we always knew that JP kind of sets the groundwork. JP has this anticipation factor that global kind of doesn't have because you know what's going to come eventually on global. I think they're finally starting to look at it like, okay, I think that these players are aware, and this is Bandai's perspective, I think these players are aware of what's coming next. So if we don't make changes to this banner, they're not going to summon on this banner because honestly, to be 100% honest, even on the Japanese version of the game, that banner was borderline not worth your time. If we knew what was coming up next, which is going to be on global the ticket banner, which is going to be Merge Zamasu, Rose, Goku Black, the Vegito Blue, all these things are coming up. And a Perfect Cell if you want that, which is another one of those skippable banners, and Vegeta Blue, Intelligence Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, another one of those skippable banners, just like this. These are all lazy banners. Those three are really lazy banners. Cell, Black, and Vegeta. Highly passable banners. But if you knew what was coming up next, there's no reason to summon on the Goku Black banner. So I think that's part of the reason why they made this guy significantly better, because honestly, Goku Black is a good card. I'm just speaking on the Japanese version. He's a really good unit, right? He's an optimal physical unit. He struggles to wiggle his way into being an optimal villain on an optimal villain team. Obviously, depends what you have in your box. Everybody's situation is a little different, but from in a vacuum, looking at it from, okay, I have all the best cards in the game, he struggles to get onto that villain team, especially with Cooler coming out recently. So I think that Global is going to have a little bit different path as far as the upcoming cards go. I don't think that they'll buff most of the other cards coming out. They may do it again. I don't think they're going to buff Vegito Blue or Rose. I think those guys are good enough. But I just think that they did this to give you a little bit more incentive to summon this character, because honestly, people were going to skip it, and they probably still will skip it because you'll have a lot of chances to get Goku Black. The problem with Goku Black, too, is that he's not going to be on that ticket banner. And the ticket banner, if you didn't know, it starts off with tickets. Basically, you get one ticket for every 50 stones you've ever used, whether that was one stone for the tournament refilling stamina or just random refilling stamina. You use 5 stones here or there. It's 50 stones accumulated. You get one ticket no matter the situation. Singles, multis, whatever. Doesn't matter. You get one ticket for that. Has all the god leads. But then after you're out of tickets, after a period of time passes, it turns into a stone banner. You can use stones on that banner. The exact same banner. So you can pull on that. The rates are incredibly low on that banner. So I honestly, it's tempting, but I would say kind of skip it. But that being said, all that stuff's coming out. So I think they're going to just kind of do this with Goku Black. He's going to get that 3 key on his passive. That's going to make him a lot more viable. It's interesting when you look at LR Ginyu and the Ginyu Force, because they kind of do that too. And then you have Rose Goku Black. Somebody's going to get weeded out here, and I don't know who it is. It normally, as far as the Japanese version of the game is, it would normally be physical Goku Black. I don't know what they're going to do here. It's kind of weird, but I don't know if they're going to buff any other characters. But that's just pretty much my main thought is, I think that they're looking at it like, okay, we don't have the hype factor behind it. People are not going to pull. Maybe the banner also didn't do very well in the Japanese version of the game either. So there's a few different things as far as that goes, and I don't expect other future buffs. If they do that, the game's going to peak a little bit earlier, the global version, because we know it's coming. So anyways, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Stop talking you guys' ears off. But I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you know all that other good stuff. Let me know your thoughts. And I will catch you guys in the next video. But until then, stay swaggy. Have an awesome day. Peace out, guys.